Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So glad you're here. I'm just showing you my mixed media journal by Recollections, and I'm going to be doing another page. So I'm showing you these two pages here. They're really kind of thin, so I'm going to skip the in-between and skip a page and go to the pages I'm going to do right now. So I'm slipping in a piece of scrap paper, and this is just kind of to protect the papers behind it when I do some misting. I'm going to use my Tattered Angels Naturally Aged Paint System, and this is, I believe this is weathered copper. And I'm really loving this kit because it's just gorgeous. I'm showing you the colors here. I've got Splash Chalkboard Mist, I have Verdigris, and that's a glimmer mist. I have my Coconut Shell Glaze and Bronze Glimmer Mist. And these colors are just really gorgeous, and I really have fun playing with them. You'll see the Verdigris is just amazing. It's a really beautiful blue with some gold shimmer in it. But anyway, I'm shaking up my Splash chalkboard, and I'm just spritzing it on. This left side of the page, I'm not going to do a whole lot to. I'm going to do a little bit of color and maybe some stamping and embossing. But that's about it. For the most of this journal page, I'm just going to do most of it on the right side. So I'm just putting a little bit of color down, just kind of randomly, just so it's not white. So I'm just spritzing it on, and then I'll go and dry it up with my heat tool. And I just decided not to do a whole lot on that page because it was so thin and I didn't know if it would really hold too much embellishments. Now I'm going to go over to the right side of my journal, and I'm spritzing on some of that Splash chalkboard mist again. And then I'm going to start building my my naturally aged paint system to make it look a little bit like weathered copper. So I'm kind of turning my journal there so you can see the bottom corner that I'm going to be starting in. And the first step is to take your Bronze Glimmer Mist and put down a pretty good saturation of that. I'm going to work in small areas so it doesn't soak in before I am able to add all the paints. And I'm also getting my paints ready ahead of time, so I'm shaking them up and taking the caps off so I can do this quickly. Now you can go ahead and add layers, dry it up and add more layers, and it's just easy. You can't really mess it up, but I just prefer to have all of my paints on hand. So I'm applying some of that Bronze Glimmer Mist, and I really like this color too. It's bronze and it's got some gold glimmer into it. And now is the Verdigris, and you can see how gorgeous that blue is. And it's got gold shimmer to it. I don't know if you can see right now, but it really looks great. So I put a little bit of bronze over that Verdigris, and now I'm doing some more of the Splash chalkboard mist, putting that over the top. I'm really trying to get a lot of paint down. I want it to kind of puddle, because when you take and bring in your glaze and drop it on, you kind of want it to spread, and it's not really spreading a whole lot. I think my paint's kind of started to soak into the paper, so I'm kind of just trying to dab it on, and I decided just to go ahead and sling it on with the paintbrush and get it on there kind of messy. So, I mean, that worked, but when you do it, if you really want a really awesome effect, get the paint to pool and puddle, because then your glaze will start to spread out on its own and just look amazing. So I went ahead and I dried that up, and I'm just adding more layers and just figuring out where I want all of this weathered copper to go, and I'm just doing the whole process again in these areas up here. So I'm not really filling up the whole page with this technique. I'm just doing different areas, and then to fill in the white spots, I'm taking this Splash and just kind of spraying it on and filling in those white areas. So here's some more of that Coconut Shell Glaze, and I'm just flinging it on, trying to get it to kind of spread a little bit. And I just layer more of the paints on. So if it's not looking the way you want it to, add more. Just keep going, because you really can't mess it up. So now I'm just putting on some more of that Verdigris because I just think it's beautiful. I might have to go and buy some more because I just love this color. And some more of the bronze because I wanted some more of that gold tones to show through. And I'm almost done with the backgrounds for my pages. I'm going to go ahead and dry it, And I did decide to put a little bit more of the splash up in that corner. It looked a little bare to me. And then I did go ahead and put some verdigris in a few places on the left page because I thought it didn't look like it went together. So you can see now I put some verdigris on there, and I'm going ahead and I'm splattering on some more of my coconut shell glaze, just so it looked like it all kind of went together. So I dried that up, set it aside, and now I'm going to be working on some of the pieces that I'm going to build on my mixed media journal page. So these are some feathers that I cut out with my Cricut, and I've had them sitting in my little die cut bucket for quite a while, and I really haven't used them for anything, but they went really well with the theme of this page that I'm building. So I decided to take them and use them. I'm showing you, this is my Glimmer Glam, and the color is Camel. And it's really going to look like just a beautiful gold. I really wanted to put a lot of gold on this page. So I'm looking for a paintbrush right now because I can never wash my paintbrushes after I use them and put them back in the right place. So I have to go try to find a clean one, which I did, but I really need to just remember to wash my paintbrushes right after I'm done using them. But anyway, I'm grabbing some of that Camel Glam, and I'm putting a generous amount on these feathers. I just wanted to really cover them in this glam because it just looks amazing. So I'm putting a really generous amount on, and then I'm going to dry it and put another coat on top. And a really cool thing about this glam is that when you do dry it with your heat tool, if you get the heat tool nice and hot and you hold it up to it, you can kind of see it will bubble up a little bit and give some texture. So that's what I tried to do with these feathers here. So I have all my feathers done, and I'm bringing my page back in, and I'm going to kind of try to build some of my layers and embellishments. You can see I did a lot of those flowers. So I think if you were to paint your feathers on a different surface other than paper like I did, they would probably come off a lot better. Mine really stuck, and I'm trying to peel them off without ripping them. But the paper kind of came off in layers, so I kind of got a thinner layer of this feathers in the papers because the layers came apart. And that's just because I painted it on a piece of paper and it stuck. So you might want to try more of a smooth surface, or just not letting them dry in that, moving them to a different surface while they dry, and you might get better results. But anyway, so now I'm taking my Tombow glue stick and I'm applying glue to my feathers, and I'm just going to start building them down in this corner where I want them to go. I'm going to kind of cluster them together to sort of frame this bottom corner. And this glue stick is really nice. This is the first time I had used it, but I thought it worked really well for these feathers. It just applies a nice coat of this glue, and it doesn't dry right away, so it kind of gives you some time to play around with your feathers and move them around, so you can get the placing of them the right way that you want. And here I'm giving you a closer look at the glue stick. So I thought that was a really nice glue to use for these feathers. I thought it worked well. So I'm just continuing to go ahead and layer on these feathers. I was pushing them down flat, but then I decided I kind of wanted some of the edges to peel up to give it more dimension. So I kind of left some of those edges up. And at this point, while I was putting them over my background, I really liked the way that Camel Glimmer Glam looked against the aged, weathered copper paint system. I thought it just looked really, really nice. And I know you can't see it really well from the camera, but there's a lot of gold sparkle going on that background page, so it really pulled out that gold sparkle, putting these gold leaves over the top of it. So I'm kind of just fluffing up some of the edges of those feathers because I decided I want them to kind of peel off the page a little bit to give a little more dimension. So here I'm just giving you a closer look of now you can kind of see some of that sparkle and the feathers and all the texture going on, and I was just really starting to get excited about this page because I really liked what was going on there. So I went and I got some more of my feathers that I painted, and I'm putting them in a few other places on the page, getting them stuck down with my Tombow glue stick. So then I was able to start to build some more of my embellishments that were going to go on top of this. So I have a few of these chipboard hot air balloons, and I thought they went well with the feathers. I was kind of thinking some kind of a flight or travel type theme. So I thought they went really well. I liked that look, but I just didn't like the colors and the design that was on these hot air balloons. I just didn't think it went. So I was trying to think of what I could do to kind of either paint over them or something, and I came up with using this old book page, and I'm going to put it over the top and completely cover the top of my hot air balloon, and then do a little bit more painting on top of it. So I'm putting my book page over the hot air balloon, and I'm just tearing around the edges to make sure I get the right size piece of this page. I needed this page to cover both the big air balloon and the small air balloon, so I'm trying to save as much as I can. And then the way that I'm going to stick this down, I've used this technique a few times, is I'm going to take my clear Glimmer Glam, and this is just clear. It has no sparkle in it or anything, but it shines. I mean, when it dries, it really shines, and it's really handy if you're using it to sort of, if you brush it over thin paper like this book page or tissue paper, it will stick it down to your paper, or in this case my chipboard piece, and it really worked well for that. So and it gave it a nice shine, so I thought it looked a little bit better if you were using some glue to stick it down. So that's why I used the clear Glimmer Glam. And I've really actually used this clear glam for a lot of different things, so I might have to go and buy another replacement bottle for that as well. But I just thought the look was really nice for what I was trying to do. So I put down a layer on top of the chipboard, and then I put down my book page, and now I'm putting a layer of the glam on top of my book page. And so that kind of gets the page stuck down from both sides. And I'm just kind of pushing that book page down around the edges so that it will stick well and really kind of make it look seamless. And I am going to be painting this clear glam over the whole surface, because you can see it does kind of change the color of the paper a little bit, and it will dry shiny. So if I didn't put it on the whole surface, it would kind of look different and not very what am I trying to say? Unified, a unified look, perhaps. But yeah, so I'm gonna brush it over the whole surface, and that'll make sure it just really sticks down good, and it looks good. The hardest part about this hot air balloon was just wrapping all of the book page around the edges. My fingers were sticky at this point, so it kept wanting to come up and stick to my fingers. But just have to persevere, and it worked. So that was the part that took the longest. But I really like how it came out, so I think it was worth it. So now I have my book page all adhered down. I dried it with my heat tool, and I'm bringing in some more glimmer mist. And I think this was antique brass. This is antique brass. And I'm spraying a really generous amount on top. That's because when the Glimmer Glam dries, it dries shiny embossing powder and then heat that up, and it's going to give a really nice golden frame to this piece of vellum. It's going to look like you almost dipped it in some molten gold. It really looks awesome. So that's what I'm going to do with this piece of vellum. Just getting all the sides covered. I'm just sprinkling on some of my pirate gold embossing powder and tapping off the excess. And you can see it really looks kind of messy on the edges, but that's kind of what I was going for. Just saving the rest of my extra powder for when I need to use it again. Pouring it back into the bottle. Now I'm going to take my heat tool and start to heat up that piece of vellum. And I don't know about you, but the first time I saw heat embossing and I saw that powder melt, I was like amazed. I thought it was magic. So I still like watching it once in a while, so I'm giving you a little bit of a shot of that gold embossing powder melting because it just looks amazing once it's melted. So I went ahead and I melted all that powder along the edges, and I just love that gold frame that it gives it. So now I'm taking this piece of paper from 7 Gypsies, and I'm going to emboss in gold some of these polka dots. So I'm inking up my polka dot background stamp, and I'm just going to stamp it on this piece of paper. And it's going to be kind of a messy stamping, but my whole page isn't very clean and perfect, so I wasn't worried. It's kind of a messier look. So I went ahead, and there's a nice shot of my hair in case you were wondering what's going on there. But yeah, so I stamped that up, and now I have to stamp up the other side. And I did not line up where I left off stamping at all. It was just a really quick stamping job. I wasn't worried because I'm going to build some layers on top of this piece of paper, so I just needed to get it stamped and embossed. Sprinkling on some more of my gold embossing powder, and then I'm going to go ahead and tap off the excess and save the extra powder for another project, and then I'll go ahead and heat emboss those polka dots. So now I'm going to start to layer all of my pieces onto my page. So I'm bringing in those pieces that I just embossed and sticking them kind of behind some of the feathers up top there. Bringing in my hot air balloons, and on this big one I had some stickers in my stash. I found them on sale somewhere, so I don't even know what brand they are, but I put the word Explorer on there because I thought it went well with this sort of travel theme of my journey. And I'm putting my little piece of ribbon behind my hot air balloons, and I liked that little cluster of embellishments, so I'm going to grab my adhesive now. Try to apply it while I've got my card stock where I want it to go, so I'm trying not to move it while I'm putting on my adhesive. But anyway, I'm using my Tombow Stamp Runner adhesive and just applying some of that, getting it stuck down really good. And then on top of that polka dot piece, I'm going to put my vellum. So sometimes finding a good adhesive is hard for vellum because you can kind of see it from the front and peeks out from behind, but I'm putting the Stamp Runner adhesive sort of along the sides where I have my embossing, and I'm also going to put some embellishments over the top, so you don't really see the adhesive all that much when the page is done. So I'm just sticking that down, and now for the ribbon I'm using my Tombow multi liquid glue. I'm just going to put a little bit of little dots on different spots all along there, and then stick it down. first started this Recollections Mixed Media Journal, I really tried to go with more of a flat layout with things because I didn't want it to get too bulky. But somewhere along the way, I kind of forgot about that, and I've just started piling on the embellishments and lots of dimensions. So I'm pretty sure I'll never be able to close this book flat, but it's just really fun to just to create anyway and not put yourself on those limits of trying to keep it flat. It'd probably be better if I did, but oh well. So now I'm putting some foam adhesive on this little hot air balloon because I want it to kind of stick up a little bit in front of the bigger one. So I'm putting a few pieces there, just peeling off the backing, and then I'll stick it down. And I did have to go back and move that top piece of foam adhesive because it wasn't sticking right where I wanted it to go. So I kind of moved it over to the side so that I could have part of the little hot air balloon on top of the big one. And that worked much better. So I have most of the big embellishments down on my page, and I'm going to start putting in some smaller pieces. Now these are some metal gears that I got on Amazon, and the brand is Beads, and I've just loved these gears for lots of different projects. And I thought they went really well with the gold and metal themes on this, and the hot air balloons, and it gives it kind of a steampunk look, so I really liked that. So I'm just sticking them here and there where I think I want them to go. Kind of tucking a few up behind that little air balloon. Down on the lowest corner, sticking some in between some of them feathers. Sometimes it takes me a little while to get the placement right. I kind of just have to play around until I think it looks good. So, excuse me, to adhere these down, I'm using my Tombow liquid glue, and I've used it for these gears before, and it really works well. The only downside is you have to let it dry, so you have to make sure you don't move your book page around or anything to make them fall off. So you want to give it time to dry. Now I have some clear beads, and I'm just going to be putting them on in different places and putting a few clusters here and there. And I know it's kind of hard to see on camera, but I have more pictures at the end of this video, and more pictures on my blog, so if you want to look at it more in detail, you can head over there after you're done watching the video. But I'm just putting them on my glue, getting them to stick, and my fingers were a little bit sticky at this point, so it was kind of hard to get them all placed right. But it worked, so I put little clusters here and there, and I'll give you a close-up look, I believe, of what it looks like. So I thought this was a really fun page to do. I really enjoyed it. You'll see in the pictures I did a little bit more over to the left page that I didn't do on camera. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again in some future videos. Thank you. Bye.